Earth movements and seasons. We all know that due to the rotation of the Earth, we will get different seasons like rainy season, summer season, winter seasons, and so on. So, in the following picture, you can observe the similar tree showing different variations. This tree is in USA. During 4 seasons, we got these pictures. In the first picture, you can see that the tree is surrounded or covered by snow. In the third picture, you can see the same tree sprouting leaves. In the second picture, the same tree has fully grown leaves. In the last picture, ripe red leaves are falling from the same tree. Do you know why this changes happens? Yes, that's right. This is due to the different seasons. Seasonal variation. We all know different seasons will get different fruits and vegetables, and that things will not be available in different seasons. And it snows heavily in the northern countries during winter. In summer months it is not so cold, but still cooler than that in our state Telangana. However, the funny thing in that those countries, the day is much longer in summers, so much so that you can see the sun even at the midnight. And this is the place where we can see the sun in the midnight, and that is Norway. This is the place called land of midnight sun. Factors affects the seasons. The spherical shape of the earth and the curvature of its surface, and the daily rotation of the earth on its own axis. The tilt of the axis of the rotation compared to the plane on which the earth moves, and the earth movement around the sun once a year. It is called revolution. Well, the curvature of the earth, you have already studied the spherical shape of the earth, how it affects the temperature on the earth. It becomes warmer in equator position than compared to the near the poles, where poles are cooler compared to the equator, as we already discussed in the previous lesson. And earth rotates. For one rotation, it will take about 24 hours to rotate around its axis from the west to east. You can see the western portion moves towards the east. That is the cause of the day and night to us. Imagine what would happen if the earth did not rotate on its own axis. Then one portion of the earth which is on the front of the sun would get sun heat and the light, and the other position would remain cold and dark forever. And these would make both the portions unfit for life, and bright half would be too hot and the dark half would be too cold. This rotation helps the entire earth to get light and heat constantly on the daily basis. And the earth revolves around the sun while rotating around its own axis. The motion of the earth around the sun is called revolution, and one revolution is equals to 365 days, and it is equals to 5.56 hours. The length of a year on the earth. And you can see the earth goes around the sun on a regular plane, also called as orbit, on a level plane in open space. This is called orbital plane. The earth axis of the rotation does not stand vertical, and this is forming a 90 degrees angle on a plane, but it is tilted on it, so form 66.5 degrees angle. In other words, it is tilted by 23.5 degrees. To understand this idea, look at the following picture clearly. In the picture, you can see what happens when Earth goes around the sun in this manner. During some months, like June, the northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun, while in some months the southern hemisphere faces the sun. As a result, when the northern hemisphere has summer, the southern hemisphere has its winter. When 6 months later, in December, the position changes and the northern hemisphere has winter and the southern hemisphere has summer. You can see that in some months like March and September, It is the equator which faces sun directly, and both the north and southern hemispheres get similar amount of energy from the sun. So at this time they both experience similar type of temperature. In March, the sun shines directly over the equator, while in June, it shines directly over the Tropic of Cancer in the northern hemisphere, and then in the September, as the earth travels further around the sun shines directly over the equator. In the December, it shines over the Tropic of Capricorn in the southern hemisphere. Thus, you can see that there is a belt within which the direct sun rays fall at some time of the year or the other. These belt extending from the Tropic of Cancer to the Tropic of Capricorn is called tropical belt, and this belt gets maximum heat energy from the sun. June 21st, it is sun on the Tropic of Cancer, and March 21st and September 23 sun on the equator, and December 22 it is sun on the Tropic of Capricorn. And it is very important, you need to remember this. And this is a lots topic. If you move further from the north or south of the temperature belt, you will reach the polar region. Seasons in these regions are very peculiar, and this region is away from the sun during winter and does not get any sunshine in the day, and that is for 6 months. There is no sunshine on the poles, and for the next 6 months it constantly faces sun throughout the 24 hours a day. There is no light or darkness. A place which has 6 months of a day and 6 months of night, so it never gets very hot. So for 6 months it is freezing cold, so cold that an entire ocean, the Arctic Ocean, remains frozen throughout the year, so cold that the soil becomes frozen like hard rock, and roots of the tree can't penetrate them, so trees just can't grow in this region. When the sun appears for the 6 months, the snow melts, and the part of the soil melts, and some plants like moss and lichens and some flowering plants will grow in this region. And this is all about the earth movements and season.